So welcome back to part 2 of Clone to Code, where we created the key for the game. So if I refresh, you'll see the key going down, and the next part is to create the track. So the key would be the train, if you think of it like that, and the track would be what the train is on. It shows the direction and the speed of the train. So let's get started. So in our main function, we have our key object or blueprint for our key object. So what we want to do here is just to make it simpler, we're going to take this out, save this, and we're going to put it in a new file and control V that, save it here as key.js, save that, close it, go into your index.html and just link it. So copy that and link it to key.js. So if we go back and we see if it still works, it should work perfectly. Okay, good. So now we have to create the function or the blueprint for the track by saying function, calling this track. And the track is going to need two things. It's going to need the number of tracks the game will have. So usually it's going to be 4. We're going to say 4. And the speed at which the keys fall down or go through the game. So we're going to say track for the number of tracks and speed for how fast it's going. So we're going to have a couple of functions in the track object, which is this dot get speed, which is a function which returns the speed, and then also we're going to have this dot get size, which equals a function which returns the size. So what would be the size? So return the size. So the size would be determined by how many tracks there are. So we're going to say width divided by tracks, and that would be the size of one key. And the other, what else do we need? We need to get the lane. So this dot get lane equals a function. So what the lane function is which lane should we go in? Which track are we on? So that will be an X position that we need to calculate. So how we do that is it's going to return, let me just scroll down here a bit, return. So how do we do this? Lane. So it's going to be this dot get size. So obviously we need to get the size, and we can call the same function size within our object. So this dot get size, and plus that by the number column. So it should signify. So here we're going to say lane. So which lane are we on? So plus lane, which is not right. It's times lane, because we want to times the width of the key every time we want to switch over to another lane. And what we do here is, since we have lanes, what I like to do is here is I just like to say -1, because when you add 0, which is actually the first, because 0 times the width would be the width itself, would it be? Yes. And then 1 times width would be the actual width. So actually that's wrong. 0 times width would be 0, which is the first position, and the second position would be times 1, which is only the width. We have that down, and we got pretty much everything we need. So now we have to create an object for this track. So we're going to go here, we're going to say var t for track, and before we create the key now, we're going to create the track. So down here, we're going to say t equals new track, and we have track here, number of tracks, and the speed at which it goes. So track will be 4, and the speed will be, let's say, 5 for now. So in key, let's go back to the key function or the key object. It needs a position and a size. So here we already have a size. By referencing t.getSize, we will get the size of the key, or what the key size should be. And 0 would be the position, the y position, up and down position. Since we have speed here, we're going to have to change a couple of things in the key object. So in the key object, update is responsible for the speed, really. So here we want to create an argument which is called speed, and we're going to, instead of 5 here, we're going to say speed. And then we can always change it from the track instead of the key, so that every key has the same pace. Really, we don't want the keys going in at different speeds. And then here we're going to say t.getSpeed. And if we did everything right, and I go here and I say refresh, we're going to have that. Okay, so it's pretty much the same. But now we're missing one thing, which is lane. Where do we use lane? So if we go back here and we see the x is always at 0. So which lane it's on is always at 0. So we're going to create a new argument here, and we're going to say lane. And lane will be equal to x, the x position, which is right there. So if we say save, and now we're going to need to create that variable over where we initialize the key. So t.getLane. And now we want to give it a lane. Let's give it the lane of the second lane. And it's not minus. Why did I minus it here? It's plus. Why is it minus? We're going to find out. Let's just give it a minus. And that should be right. And let's go back. And we have it at 3, the third position. You can see. So here it should be plus. No. It should be minus. Did I do something wrong here? T.getLane, and here lane equals x. No, that's right. It's just something here. Okay. Let's just test speed. So instead of 5, let's give it a 8. So the key should go down way faster. Way faster than that. Okay, it does. Voila boom, voila bam. It's just the get lane. Why doesn't get lane want to go through? 0 width times 0 would be 0. Width times 1. Oh yes, okay. Sorry. Order of operations are very important. We need to put this in brackets. And we say, there we go. So now, if we check here, it's at the second lane. If we want it at the first lane, we can. And if we want it at the last lane, we can. There we go. So now we have a track and we have a key, and they're all going together. So the next thing we're going to need to do is to add a bit more keys, or create a function that adds keys, and we need a mouse event. We'll see each other in part 3.